All right, hello everybody. Let's go ahead and get going. I hope everybody's having microphone causing issues. Make sure I'm turning the right thing up. I think it might just be turning my own volume, which is just gonna make it sound weird. There we go. All right, so welcome to JDDoesDev. I'm JD, the JDDoesDev title. I do Drupal, I do PHP, I pretend to do React, I try to do some JavaScript and stuff, and I do some Docker stuff as well. So tonight, gonna mainly be working on some Drupal stuff, but depending on how things go, we might switch it up a little bit. But I wanted to start off because one of the big things Drupal, open source, anything is contributing code, contributing documentation, translations, whatever. There's a ton of stuff that could be contributed back. So I am going to show a way, at least that I like to use to start contribution with code based. And it's not the only way to contribute back. There are definitely several other ways. But I prefer to contribute code. I also contribute it by being a member of the Drupal CWG and also speaking at conferences and camps. So those are the ways that I contribute back. Sorry, drinking some of my probably not the healthiest Rockstar. They're not paying me. They probably should, as much as I drink. But that's beside the point. All right, I'm adjusting the volume a little bit more here, just trying to get the gain right. All right, so let's get started on this. So you can see I've got Docker pulled up here. It's probably one of the most valuable apps that I have on my computer right now until I find a suitable alternative to it. But we're going to do some contribution stuff. So I've got a few goals and things that I think we should concentrate on doing, and also just because I'm running into some issues here, I am going to be swiveling my head quite a bit, and I might be acting confused. My OBS, I'm using Streamlabs. I know there's a lot of hate for it, but it's working for me for now. I'm definitely, after tonight, I'm probably gonna figure out a best way to switch over. But now my chat is not working on Streamlabs. So hold on, got a cough. All right. So since the chat on Streamlabs isn't working, I still want to see what's going on. I still want to see the comments coming in, from all of my friend that shows up. So I've got my own channel opened up in a tab on another screen that I'm not showing to any of you, but that's how I'm going to be trying to keep an eye on the chat. Probably a better way to do it. Probably the best way is to not use Streamlabs, but just vanilla OBS. But live and learn, right? So the goals for tonight, just to start off with, I'm going to set up Docksal for contrib. So we're going to pull down Drupal and then maybe go through, find a couple issues. And we're going to find an issue that isn't already worked on. This is a big thing. I want to make sure that if you're contributing an issue, if you're writing code, if you're writing documentation, if you're reporting an issue, the first thing that you need to do is make sure that it doesn't already exist. Because if it does, wasting your time, you're wasting maintainers' time, people who are testing it out, maybe just see yours at the top of the search. So you want to make sure that it doesn't already exist. And now Drupal.org and Drupal contribution is moving to GitLab. So it's no more just creating patches and uploading them to Drupal.org. We are forking stuff. So finally, with Drupal, you can go fork yourself. So let's go ahead and get things started here with a Docksal contrib setup. And the best way to do that, at least in my opinion, is fin project create. I'm going to create that. I'm going to call it contrib. No, not cotrib. Contrib. Let's look at this delicious assortment of what we can start with right off the bat. And we are going to go with Drupal 10 Composer version. So, number 1. Yes, I want to proceed. So when we pull down a boilerplate, you can see some things are happening here. And I know if you have watched any of my other streams, you know good and well that I use Docksal a lot, and I have also ran into a small issue. I still haven't figured it out. It's definitely a me problem, a my computer problem, where the host is not getting properly updated, the host file on my MacBook here. So I'm gonna check, see if maybe it's resolved itself somehow. Maybe the gremlins have worked their way out. But we're waiting for Docksal to do the magic right now. So it's doing the Finite script, which is a script that on a vanilla Docksal install doesn't exist. You write it yourself. But on one of our boilerplates, it's something that just spins up the site, pulls down from Composer, or pulls down all the Composer packages, installs a database, and does everything that's needed to get a Drupal site up and running. So that is going now. While that's going, I'm going to go ahead and add our new folder here. Oh, and I spelled it wrong for 2. Man. So I forgot the R. Oh well. Yes, I trust the authors. Stop asking me that. I did the folder. Alright, so it's still going. We're pulling down all the stuff. I'm going to go look at this init site. So part of it is running REST site install standard. We're going to have to do that. But just something that makes life a little bit easier, at least for demoing stuff. I think it's Umami, might be Umami profile. Anybody out there who knows, just correct me. So it's still pulling down stuff. I have all that yet. But I'm going to probably redo this and just install the Umami profile. Anything? See anything? Nope. One of the downsides of Composer is sometimes it takes a little bit of time. So while we're waiting, how's everybody doing? All of you person out there, maybe, and probably just me watching myself. Just fine. You know, that's what video on demand is for, right? I can talk, and everything's going to be recorded. Available, and I will probably try to whittle that down into something useful. But also probably not. Really a coin toss at this point. So we are installing Drupal, so that means the files should be, let's look. Profile, demo Umami, okay. I knew it wasn't just Umami. gonna just change the name here, and real quick before we get going, go over to our incognito. Yeah, I need to figure out what's going on. But oh, this is gonna bug me. Oh well. So now that I made a change, I'm going to do a Finite again. And I mean, one of the key things about Finite is that we are nuking everything. When you want to completely start from scratch, you run Finite or bin project remove and then bin project create or whatever. But Finite is just if you completely want to restart to a known state, that's what you run. So unfortunately, we've got to do that. Moving, move. Fortunate, but it's to happen. Getting on that, I'm going to do just some shameless promotion here. So you can see that thing down in the right-hand corner, the lower right-hand corner of the screen here. Oh, cool. We saved a lot of time there. By using, or since I didn't clear out the vendor folder, so it already existed, which is great. But should be circling that thing. I am frustrating myself here because my keyboard is too clicky for recording, at least in my opinion. I am, anytime I type something. Odd. It's a warning. Wonder why that put up though. Okay, so we also got some translations, which is good. Now, bin hosts add. You can hear the clickety-click. It's loud. I like the feeling of a clicky keyboard, a mechanical keyboard. I do play some games, so I like it for that, but I also understand how loud it can be and how annoying it can be to somebody who's trying to learn something, and it's hard enough to pay attention to what I'm saying, because oftentimes I'm just stumbling through and stuttering my way around, maybe stammering, stuttering, I don't know the better word for what I do. But having that clickety-click while I'm trying to stutter through probably doesn't help all that well. So I have the tip jar there open for keyboards that aren't so clicky. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so I've added the host. Now we should get the umami site. Yay, there it is. If you don't know, if you're unfamiliar, for the longest time, Drupal did not have any demo content. We had the devel module, excuse me, the devel generate, which you can use that. You can generate some dummy content, but it's basically a bunch of fields getting filled with all kinds of lorem ipsum stuff. Not great. It's hard to search through, it's hard to figure out what goes where. Umami, on the other hand, has articles, different content types, different views, different things that you're actually going to use, and it's something that we can show off kind of some of the abilities of Drupal, which, you know, is a huge improvement over what it was before. Okay, so I am going to log in using this command, drush ULI, was prefixed by fin. So this should take me to the admin menu, which is, for our purposes right now, isn't that huge, but I want to take a look and see if, I don't believe there are any, going to be any counter modules enabled here. So let's just close all this down. All right, let's go to the Drupal issue queue. Drupal.org. Okay, I'm going to take this to a different screen temporarily. My two-factor. And all kinds of secure. Okay. Back we go. So let's take a look at build, download, and extend. Build modules, probably better. Okay, so I am just going to find, actually, instead of that, can we just go straight to the issue queue? Contributor guide. Perfect. You know what? This is a great thing. And one of the things that we're working on is making it more visible. So I'm really glad that I found it there. Actually, very visible. So this is a great guide. Oh, does it say who did a lot of the? No, I don't see. But I can guess who did a lot of the typing for this thing. A few of the people. And they put in a lot of work for it. So a few things we can do is we can check by task. This is the page that put it up. Getting started, contributing. We can browse by role, by skill, by area, and there are so many different things. Documentation, contributing to core, contributing to modules, event planning. Get all kinds of credit for that. And etiquette, definitely a thing. The do's and don'ts. I'm not going to read this out loud. I suggest that if you're interested in doing some contribution, check this out, especially because it helps you communicate on the issue queue. Right here, this video, we're not going to watch it all the way through. we're not going to watch it at all because it's taking forever to load. So it's a great, just check it out on your own. If you're interested in contributing, just watch this video, watch some of the workshops, check out Drupal.tv, look for any contribution guides. If you really want to find somebody who knows what they're talking about, has given talks on this stuff a lot, Amy June Heinlein, all one word, Amy June. Just search that name. Here, let's do that now. Drupal.tv. Right. Video search. Amy June. Look at this. Contribution workshop. Contributions. Contribution, blah, 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 contribution. It's almost like she likes to do contribution stuff. You know, organizing events, stuff like that. So yeah, if you want a full-on contribution guide, just go check this out, or search contribution. There are a ton of videos here. You don't need to point them out to you or tell you which ones to watch. You can make your own decisions. You're grown-ups, maybe, I hope. All right, so let's go back here. Okay, so let's browse by find a task. So here are a couple of different things that you can do to contribute. Add screenshots, backport a patch. You know what? Backporting really helps out a lot. D9 compatibility should probably be updated to D10. Let's go into modules. What's in module? Facets. I use this one quite a bit. So if you want to find something, go to open issues. And this is another opportunity to check things out. Right, the needs review. Let's take a look at this one. First thing here. What you don't want to do is jump in a module or an issue that has several pages worth of typing back and forth. Somebody's probably already working on that. There's probably already stuff happening. You can get a good idea looking right up top. You know, there's already a patch, and this is at least the third one. Still, take a look. So we are at needs review. So it has been marked as reviewed and tested by the community, but there's a related issue here with another module. So this probably wasn't the best one to look at. Let's look at another checkbox value. All right, so this is a great example, as long as it doesn't already exist somewhere else, but this is a great example where somebody found a small issue and they just pushed up a fix for it themselves. And what I'm assuming is a small issue. I haven't looked at the patch, but it might be a large issue. So, checkbox value, depending on URL value, doesn't work for empty checkbox. So they went in, wrote this patch. Simple, they took out one line, added a few others, and they contributed it back. So now what they're waiting for is somebody else to get in and give it a test. So somebody who knows how to recreate the problem or who's run into the same problem, and that might even be one of the module maintainers. Once that happens, it gets moved from there to gonna change it, but to reviewed and tested, and then eventually either fixed, needs work, closed. So that's great. Let's find another issue with facets. We're gonna look at active. So if you are just starting to get into contributing, if you're just starting to get into development, and you're just looking for something to work on, I highly recommend that you do not find issue for the oldest one. That is 6 years, 2 months old. There's going to be quite a bit of discussion, or it's just not being worked on. If you're so inclined, it hasn't been updated in 5 years, 8 months, or 3 years, 3 months, then you could jump in there, say, hey, I'm interested in working on this. What can I do? How can I help out? Is this still a thing? Maybe light a fire under somebody's butt to give them a little incentive to either close it, mark it, duplicate, whatever. I'm going to let's go to the last updated again. Right, so lots of replies. Take a look here. Is there a patch? Nope. So this would be a good one. Taxonomy term is hierarchical, such as location. Content type has maybe it's not the best. This is more okay, yeah, he did it right. It's a support request. Not something that we could patch or fix. It's something that would be nice for somebody to give a clear answer how to do that. A good place for that would be Drupal answers or Reddit or Drupal. So let's one. Okay, this might be a bug. Okay, we got a bug report. Great. Facing an issue with facets search view. Okay, this is great. Steps to reproduce. Thank you. Thank you. I will butcher that name if I try to pronounce it. But thank you. I doubt you'll ever see this. But oh my god. This is such a nice thing to see. Steps to reproduce. So important. So, okay. So we have steps to reproduce. We've got a brief description. So I'm not going to fix this, but I'm going to show a way to fix it, or not necessarily to fix it, but what needs to happen for things to start being fixable. So the old way would be to pull the module, do some work on it by going to fix, go to facets, we go to source code, clone the module, you go into module, I'm just naming contribution to prove that I do know how to spell contribution, because that's going to bug me all night where it says contib. Yep. Git clone. I think I typed, yep. That. Alright, so I cloned that way. So what would potentially be done is, yeah, we've got facets. If we want to do a patch style, find a simple, I've got to make one small little adjustment here. One moment. Okay. So I'm just looking at the install file here. What we might do is check out a, oh, I'm, okay, 2.0.x, and the hash is the tag that matches the current. So it's been released at 2.0.6. So I would git check out, just so I knew what I was working with. Take the issue number here. Okay, so I've got my own branch here. I'd make a change. And I'm just doing this very, very simply. Save that, and then we would do git diff Alright, and so that creates a patch. That's one way to do it. However, that is not the most current and appropriate, at least in my opinion, way to do it. We're gonna instead get all this out of here. Clear the screen. Okay. So instead, we've got the issue. We're going to create an issue fork. New branch. So now what happens? This is so good. Sign in here. Okay, I'm signed in. Refresh just so it shows me signed in. And later, great. It created a fork of the issue, or that's named for the issue. Hey. And I believe it created it under me. No, just in general. So what we could do is we've got this phone. Yeah. Oh, wrong one. Git clone. If you look here, issue/facets. There, so it's just pulling that down. Okay, great. So we'd still, at least I would probably still create my own oh, that original file doesn't exist. Yeah, I cleared that out. So let's just go back to the same thing. All right, I would still create another branch. Yeah. Just new branch, great. Make that change. Again, this has nothing to do with the actual issue. I'm just commenting something. Instantiate a dependency array. Save that. And all right, we've got a modified file. So git add okay, I completely forgot how to do something there. And it's something that I used to use all the time. Eve, okay. Well, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Aegis hunk, yes. Alright, so I got that. Git commit. Commenting on something because I can. That works, right? Now, git remote. So anything I do is going to be to this now. This issue repo, specific to this single issue. Now, I am not actually going to push though, because I don't want to mess up anything happening on that issue. So go back here, get the issue fork. You know, maybe somebody is going to work on it, which would be great. I mainly just wanted to show how we could go about either creating a patch, and if we were to go with the patch, we would upload it onto this website, onto Drupal.org, with some information about it. Here's my patch, please test it. Here's what I did, here's what I think. And somebody would take a look and, you know, either apply it or not. We hope that they would, but if they didn't, hopefully they would give an explanation why and say, hey, this is what we need to do instead. So yeah, take a look at what I had set up for now. So yep, set up Docksal for crib, found an issue that isn't already worked on. We forked it in GitLab. So yeah, so far doing pretty good, right? I hope. Maybe. Cool. Cool. All right, so now that we covered all that, I mean, it's pretty simple. We didn't really go into a lot of in-depth stuff on, you know, creating or how to actually fix it. But, you know, if you're finding an issue to work on, then you can just work on it. and if you have questions, the Drupal community is great to check that out with, or to help you out with it. I mean, let me see if it's still in. We're in okay, I've got 10.0.9. Oh. Yes. So this right here is one of my proudest achievements. My first core contribution to Drupal. It's for a test, originally for putting in Drupal 8, and some of us got together in Chicago for Drupal, or Midwest Developer Days, I think was what it was called, and a few core committers were there, core maintainers, and this is the first patch that I wrote that was accepted as a core contribution, and it's still there. There's some other Easter eggs, like I forget where exactly it is, but Drees's birthday is somewhere hidden in the code. I'm not sure where, so we're not going to search that down. Okay, so with that, been going about 45 minutes on this, right? I'm going to take a tiny little break, get another drink, rest my voice for a few seconds, and then I'll be back. I need to do something. I don't want to lose sweet, sweet tunes. Oh, good. They are already here. All right, so sorry, I was looking at something else that should exist, but it no longer does. Okay, sorry, talking to myself here. Yeah, so I am going to take a short 5-minute break at most. Hopefully when I come back, I'll see that one viewer that's me jump up at least double. That's my big hope. The number is gonna get twice as big. So okay, I am back. So I've got a drink, feeling good, and I have decided, since I don't have anything better to do right now, that we are going to run my personal site. Oh boy, I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one, but my personal site needs some love, big time love. I haven't posted anything in a while on an old version of Drupal. Not great. I'm on DigitalOcean, so the droplet there is probably old as all hell too. I don't even know if I know the password to get in, but let's find out. Cool. I am going to start, but Logging on in. So oh, all right. At this point, I wonder if it's going to be better to just spin up a new droplet with newer things, because upgrading to 7 or to 8.1 from at least PHP 8.1 from 7.3 seems like it's going to be a pain. So let's see if I ever upgraded. Oh, okay. So yeah, I upgraded at least to 18. Yay, go me. Just trade all the things. No, there is something to be said for managed hosting as opposed to DIY like I'm doing. Hey, Captain Coder! Happy Monday to you too. So I'm having a slight issue here where and you can shame me later, I'm using Streamlabs because it was just easier to start doing stuff with. But oh man, I was messing with the game earlier. It's probably been like this the entire time. Let me know if that's any better. At least in my ears it is. That I've been on for about an hour now and probably been mumbling the entire time. Still on the quiet. Alright, too much more gain and I'm going to be redlining myself. How about now? Better, yay. So, yeah, as I was saying, oh, I gotta turn down the volume for myself because I can hear myself way too well here. Awesome, great. Yeah, looking at my audio input, it's like at the very top of the yellow, almost redlining. But yeah, so I'm a punk. I use Streamlabs because I just wanted to get up and streaming as quick as possible, and test out multi-source or multi-stream. So like I'm going on YouTube as well as this on Twitch. But it broke, and like 15, well, not even 15 minutes in, 5-10 minutes after starting, sending out my announcement tweet and all that, chat just stopped working. All I see is a blank screen or a blank panel. I've tried opening and closing the panel. I don't want to stop and start the stream, but so now I am watching my own stream and watching the chat from that stream, since I can't see it on OBS. I recommend using a monitor. So with my setup, I'm using Blue Yeti. So I've got the monitor straight into my ears with the headphones, and it seems to be coming out kind of loud. But again, if you're having a hard time hearing me, I'm gonna trust you. So it's probably a disconnect between what I have set for gain and what I have set for volume. Oh, you see, you're just teaching all the stuff. Where is that? Pop-out chat. Wow, that's a thing? Amazing. Wow, I don't have to keep watching my mouse and wondering why it's moving. Ah, man. Okay. That's good to know. I wonder if it's because I have compressor filter. Do you mind if we do a little bit of testing? Or maybe it's limiter. Okay, so input capture. I'm just trying to look up to see what the filter should be doing. Okay, so it looks like my ratio is set correctly. It's all set exactly what the defaults are. So that's, I guess, a good thing. I thought I turned that off. All right. Let's turn off slow mode. Okay, good. It should be off now. And it says I disabled it, so flood me. All right. Yeah, that would get annoying for me too. I know, because especially if I have a typo. That's the worst. If I accidentally type something and then I want to, correct it with an asterisk immediately and then have to wait. Okay, let's see where. Compressor filter, maybe it's the limiter. Yeah. Prevent audio signal from peaking. All right, so what's the default here? All right, I've got the threshold there too. I definitely don't want to do anything with noise suppression because that might frustrate me. with noises in the background or my random lip smacking or movement. Okay, so while that's going, what software are you using for that? Is your physical mic at lowest possible setting? I thought that I had that. And that's why I had the gain way, way, way down. Godot, oh. You fancy. But yeah, I don't know, I'm having all kinds of issues. I'm gonna blame Streamlabs. I shouldn't have started with it. But I did. I'm gonna migrate everything over into just vanilla OBS. It looks like there's a lot better options that way. It's a little bit more flexible, but I just wanted to get up and going. All right, back into the terminal here. Okay. All right, it's I wonder, can I just freeze? Okay, global setting. No, nope, nope. Maybe it's a different filter, because again, I'm looking at, I'm afraid of redlining the audio. I don't know, just from a music background, you know, playing in a band for a while, red is bad. And at least on my end, and it's probably Streamlabs, because there were issues earlier where I couldn't even log in. Not to pass the buck, not to say it's definitely not me, but oh, I have Apache. Yeah, okay. But there were some issues earlier trying to log in and get all the things working. So I will actually, probably when I'm finished with this, well, you know what, I'm not, when I'm finished with this stream tonight, I'll do some testing, and I'll just do some recording and listen to myself and even watch my VOD to see what I can hear, if I can hear, what I can't hear. I'm looking at my audio settings, turned off desktop. Definitely don't want to hear desktop because so many error sounds. Okay, great. Thanks for the heads up. Let me, all right. It might be a little bit noisier, but I want to see if maybe I switched modes. No, okay. And maybe I'm just a little bit too far from it. And it's still, is this still getting quieter? Way too quiet? Probably. Because I want to get the hardware gain all the way down, software gain much higher, and that should be a filter, I think. Could be wrong. Who knows? Filter. Let's add a filter. Filter type gain. Oh, hey. So I am going to increase that. And I apologize. Oh, that's red. How about now? Yeah, turn myself up a little bit. My volume monitor. It's gain. Testing 1, 2. How do you do? I'm sitting at 12 and I'm mid-yellow. So mid-yellow looks good to me. I'm hitting red occasionally, maybe with my pa. All right. Wonderful. Okay, as long as I'm not distorted. You know, funny story, I once recorded some, and I remember your conversation about tutorials this morning, how you don't really like them, you prefer guides, and I'm in the same boat. I can definitely agree with that, but I did record some tutorials for Docksal, Docker type stuff, and I had my mic settings so strange. I guess I messed with the either noise gate or noise limiter, something or other, and I got done recording like a 45-minute video, and like everything was half silent. I was barely getting through because I wasn't paying attention to the levels on the screen, anything like that. It was not great. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm gonna try to update my personal site. Yeah, it was a learning experience. I learned what not to do. Is that, you know, best thing is to learn 1,000 ways not to do something. Okay, so I've got that. I like having the control of a droplet. I'm using DigitalOcean for my personal site. I like having control, but I don't like how much I have to do. So I kind of would like the idea of managed hosting, but I know that can also get pretty expensive. But oh well. All right, I am rebooting my droplet. Which scares me. Not that I'm doing a whole lot with my site, but let's see. Okay, so back, there we go. Right. Next, we are going to up version. Great. Want to get to 20. Looking for a new release. Oh boy. Kind of have to do this. But I need to do it. I don't like doing it over SSH, but what are my options using a droplet? Snaps aren't installed yet. Failed me. Let's do it. Oh no. I should have backed up my database, shouldn't I? Oh, that's not great. think I might have a backup saved on an old laptop somewhere. I don't really like getting rid of computers. I think I have a problem. But in this case, if I did completely nuke my computer or nuke my website, then I've got something to fall back on. Yes, continuing. I've got a couple old Windows laptops. I've got more Raspberry Pis than I to do with. I don't know why I have so many, but just looking at my counter now, I've got 3 Pi Zeros in various configurations. But those Raspberry Pis are so fun. So much you can do with them. I've got there's somebody who made an open source. Let's see. Yep, I'll go ahead and read. Oh, I had you beat. I had a whole 100 megabyte hard drive. The pain of figuring out what I wanted to uninstall so that I could install Doom, then uninstall Doom so that I could reinstall something else. That struggle, 10-year-old me was real. Alright, well, all that is going. I am going to look up something that I used to use, see if they have. Oh, I showing my age here. But yeah, for me the big one was Duke Nukem 3D. Because I'd played all the shareware Duke Nukem, but then Duke Nukem 3D came out, and my local BBS, the guy who was running it, was like, hey, I know everybody gets an hour a day, but if you download the demo of Duke Nukem 3 so we can play deathmatch together, I will give you an extra hour to download it. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. So he gave me the time, started downloading it, the shareware, checking it out, and my system couldn't run it. So he was not happy with it. Stream Deck Pi. Stream Pi. Okay, so this is something that I think is pretty amazing. Oh good, they got it for Mac. I've been following this project for a while now. I was really interested in it, and one of the Raspberry Pis I have hooked up to like a 5 or 6 inch screen. So this basically replaces the Elgato Stream Deck. And the last time I looked at it, it was not friendly to Mac at all. In fact, I did a little experiment and created a Docker image using Ubuntu, and the software here, got it hosted on a MacBook, and it would time out about every 10-15 minutes or so. So it was a pain to deal with. But I don't want to say the kids, but they were the people putting it together pretty young. It's like a project that they started, and I was looking through some of the code. There were some inappropriate commented out things for testing data that they just didn't pull. Tried to do the right thing and message them privately like, hey, you weren't expecting this to blow up and have a complete stranger looking at your source code, but I did, and maybe you might want to change this out so that the next person doesn't try to cancel you. I am going to do which one is the server? Oh. Where's on the host? Okay. So server. Oh no. Maybe? Mac OS, but I'm wondering, because I am a troublemaker like that, I have an M1. So, I'm curious if this will compile on an M1. I will test that out when I'm not live. Alright. Going here. Okay. Okay, yeah, sure. So, sorry, tripping over my words here. Captain Coder, I really appreciate your help with the things, and honestly, seeing what you do on your stream has been a lot of inspiration. Because you've just got the greatest energy, and if there were other people here, if you weren't the only one humoring me, I'd be singing your praises. And I know this doesn't do anything right now, but what the heck? A shout out for no reason other than the fact that I can, and this is the first shout out. So follow yourself, man. Someday I too will have my face on a pair of socks. That's the goal. I'm sure I could get it for right now on Etsy or something, but I want to work my way up to actually needing it. And I did take one bit of advice that you said. So you just happen to have a pair of socks with your face on them. Just no real reason, just because. I can respect that. So let's see. Okay. That explains the at least 3%. It's not a full placement level, but I like that. That's good. If nothing else, it shows that you care about your students and you want them to do well, and you want them to have your face on their feet. Oh, so as I was saying, I did I did check out, I think you mentioned Firebot, that app. I checked it out. Unfortunately, at this time they don't have Mac. And I'm not fancy like you doing development on Windows. Because Windows development makes me cry. Let's see. Yeah. Plus, just shipped. Yeah, still. Yeah, Linux. I could probably do a Docker thing, but I think for now, instead of fussing about with that, I'm going to stick with Stream Elements. Probably use the Stream Elements plugin for OBS once I get everything switched over. Built in. Oh. macOS developers familiar with Electron. Take a look at this code. Okay, we've got a grunt. Doing all this stuff. If it's Electron, it probably shouldn't be much more than just compiling. Oh yeah. Or to get it on the App Store or any of that. Are they really charging for Xcode, or is that just because Xcode for app developers? Because I've got it, I think. I needed to have it for Git on my host. All right, I just started it somewhere. Oh, there we are. Okay, be able. Yeah, and when it's signed, I get that. No, I think I've heard something like that. And as much as I like using Mac for development, if I could go, excuse me, if I could go pure Linux, like all Linux all the time, I would. But looking at this, we've got the grunt file, grunt. Get this to compile Electron for Mac. So I might reach out to the devs. I'm not a Mac developer with Electron experience, but I do know how to run node stuff. So what I'm assuming is that it will run if I do the Electron's something I've been meaning to learn, but there are some headaches with it. Everything that you do, I mean, even this. I think. No, I might be thinking back to something completely different. But yeah, Electron, it's great, but you have to have a whole node instance running at least an instant of Chromium, I believe. Let's see. Okay, written in Angular. Nothing here looks frightening. So let's see. Build status failing. So I'm going to go ahead and just clone this if I can. Do new. Oh, I probably should have checked the NPM versions and all that before. Although, maybe we can Dockerize it. Right. Pull this in. Firebot. Sure, let's trust him. Shouldn't be any PHP in here. I love Linux. I've got a System 76 laptop here, you know, in my collection of random computers. So we've got add a Docksal. I'm just going to pull this. File. I'm going to look at the stack here. Node. Won't give us a database SQL, and it won't give us PHP CLI. And key start. Shut down the system. It's out of here. Okay. Let's check out his JSON. Say what version of npm we need. Node 14. npm 8. Right. Version we got. Okay, minor version, node 18. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. So this is a great, or potentially a great use case for Docksal. And containerization, because I have on my Mac got npm 8.1 and node 16. Now I could lock it down on here to specific versions. How do you lock? So 18.1, but I want to use npm. Check that out. Oh, but I still don't want to sign up. Oh, okay. exec npm install. Oops. Yeah. Great. So exec VM Oh yeah, I actually do. So get that. Go. So peace. There we go. So Docksal decoupled. This is a repo that I used for a presentation I gave in Chicago and Florida on using Docksal for a decoupled application. But part of it was I customized the stack extensively, including the Docker file. So I can install, or I can use this to update the specific versions. Need this. Depending on what. Looking for I also want to check the stack. Stack. I'm gonna extend this stack. back. Don't need that. Not doing Drupal. Don't need Drupal. Don't need E. Could close that down to Packer file. That's going to be part of the problem. This is just a really, really old version of Yam. So, oh, but oh no! Did that in the wrong version. Go back. Control Z. Command Z. Okay. Here. I don't need Gatsby CLI either. I'm not doing Gatsby. I need to expose port 3000. Is that already done? Virtual port. I don't think I need to actively expose it. See? No, because I'm using the virtual port, which should just forward the port to that. Okay. So from the look of this, build a new Docker image. That does not look. Oh, okay. Make a big difference if you save it, right? CLI warning? What's a warning? I want to know. Know what the warning is. Come on, help me out here. Let's just clear this out all the way. Let's start from scratch. Warning's probably here. He's doesn't. Okay, great. I don't see any warnings there. Like we've got the right versions of all the things. So yeah, let's do the right spelling. Build instruction. Code. This might be the fail to Node.js means by external. Got that. That. I don't know that I'm going to be able to build it, Docker, which is unfortunate. Signing and notarizing. I think this is what was being mentioned earlier. Needs to be co-signed to Apple for a process called notarization. Yep. Apple Developer Program requires an annual fee. Multiple. Oh. Use Electron Forge, which is good. I'm curious. Let's take a look at the developer program. Role. Visual. Complete purchase. Doesn't say. Let's see. Does it say? No $sign. Doesn't say the price. Which is unfortunate. Well, it was interesting to look at. I could probably still get it going on. Well, maybe I could just run it. No, probably not. I don't know enough about Electron to be able to say one way or the other if I could just run it on within Docker and still have it work. if it were a web app, I'd say 100% yes. I could definitely do it. But it's not an Electron app. And this stuff, documentation, I'm really hoping, for the sake of developers who want to publish stuff to the App Store or just get it notarized by Apple, that it's not the case of if you have to ask, you can't afford it. Because it annual basis. Let's just Apple RAM. This is the price. $99. See. Still get the developer tools, but I can't do the notarization that for membership. I think the good news is that it doesn't have to be per app. At least that's what it looks like, that it's not per app per year. I am just curious about it. Doesn't really. Oh well. That was interesting walk down 2 rabbit holes that I probably shouldn't have dove down. Oh boy. This. Okay. Oh, yeah, I went down a couple different rabbit holes. Things were eye-opening. I may have completely nuked my personal website, which may not be the worst thing in the world. It was old and not great. But may also be bad. I need to just get in and change my password. It's timing out. I'm gonna close that out. Out as well. Then I think I might be called Finite. Oh, watching myself there. But yeah, I think that initially my goal tonight was to do some teaching on how to contribute open source, specifically Drupal, some of the processes. Which I did accomplish that. I accomplished that pretty early on. So the VOD, that should be nice. Over my secondary goals, oh boy, I completely did not do any of that. But oh well. Maybe I'll come back to it. Maybe have something to start on Wednesday. However, in the interim, I am going to try to fix my droplet and get it running back up and running. And maybe have my personal site going again. And if not, then managed hosting free level. But I want to thank you for checking it out, Captain Coder. It is always great to see you. I will be watching your next stream. I believe you're on tomorrow. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, thank you for checking out, man. I can't thank you enough. Not tomorrow? Okay, good. I don't have to wake up at the early crack of dawn. Wednesday. Okay, I could do Wednesday. Probably check you out once I get logged into work. Oh, nice. Is that tomorrow or Wednesday? Doing the office hours. Tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, I'll stop in there. I am on the Drupal community working group, conflict resolution team, and we've got our weekly meeting tomorrow morning as well. So I might not be able to be helping with that or stopping in on that. I would like to. I'm very interested in C#, just because it seems like that's the thing to learn for Unity. But yeah, I'll try to jump on in then. I'll be on the Discord one way or another. I just might not be. But yeah, thank you again for checking it out. If you're checking this on the VOD, thanks for checking it out. You know, any questions, always find me on here, on Twitter at JDDoesDev, anywhere. I'm pretty much ubiquitous, lurking. You too. Really appreciate you stopping in again. I can't say how much it means. All right. Take care and have a great night.